In the case of 19-year-old Sky Bush, who is on trial for a school shooting in Florida that occurred on April 20th, 2018, just 2 months after the Parkland High School tragedy that claimed 17 lives, surveillance footage captured the former student entering Forest High School, carrying a blue backpack and a black guitar case. The guitar case held a shotgun, while the backpack contained a tactical vest, gloves, and several shotgun shells. Bush entered the boys' restroom, loaded his weapon, and put on his gear. Armed with the shotgun, he then approached classroom 212 and fired a round into the door, injuring a student who was standing behind it. When the police arrived, they discovered the injured student lying on a makeshift bed made of chairs.
What the hell is that?
Who was that?
996.
Since Bush was unaccounted for, they instructed the staff to initiate a lockdown of the school.
Hey, lock this school down.
Then one of the officers found that Bush was in a classroom further down the hall.
Somebody said McManus has the kid.
Huh?
McManus has the kid.
Where?
They hurried to the classroom, only to find the teenager sitting in a chair, ready to surrender.
Down on the ground. What the hell? Put your hands behind your back.
To the officer's astonishment, Bush attempted to justify his actions, saying, "I'm sorry."
Sorry, sir.
What did you say?
I wasn't raised by the right people.
Are you kidding me?
There's a lot of violence. I don't know. In
5345 area, the front doors of the main building are all up. I'm walking around the outside.
Are you serious?
I don't know why.
Don't say another word.
Sometimes, I just don't feel anything. It's hard to describe. Just don't believe me.
He said his family members had a long history of mental illness.
Do you have a mental disorder?
Everyone in my family's either bipolar or schizophrenic.
Okay, are you bipolar or schizophrenic?
I've been to a mental hospital once and they told me I was fine.
Bush was taken into custody and faced charges for discharging a firearm on school property, possession of a short-barreled weapon, and burglary of a structure with a firearm.
Okay, get up. Just taking this west stairwell.
Following his arrest, Bush gave an interview in which he claimed to have had a violent upbringing.
It's not really my mental or disease or anything like that. It's just being around stuff that, a child shouldn't be around. My first memory is violence and conflict. That's my first memory.
Bush also stated that he felt remorseful after shooting the student, which led him to stop and surrender to a teacher.
Do you feel sorry? Do you feel remorseful?
Yeah. That's why I put down the gun. I could have kept going. There was no officers there.
Bush expressed that he was afraid of what he might do and requested the authorities to place him in solitary confinement.
No, just to really, really scare them. I want to be put away where I can't hurt anyone.
Boucher pleaded no contest to his charges. Ultimately, he was sentenced to 30 years in prison for shooting and injuring a student at his high school. While Boucher displayed moments of compassion, he still committed a heinous crime. According to reports, in 2013, 14-year-old Philip Chisholm assaulted, stabbed, and robbed his math teacher, Colleen Ritzer, in a bathroom at Danvers High School. CCTV footage from the school's hallway showed Ritzer heading toward the ladies' room while Chisholm secretly stalked her. He then followed his teacher into the bathroom, putting on gloves in the process. A few minutes later, Chisholm was seen running outside, where he grabbed a large recycling bin and headed back to the bathroom. He was then seen with his face covered, dragging the bin out of the bathroom, through the hallway, and outside the school. Police reported that Chisholm stole Ritzer's purse, keys, and credit card. Hours later, he even used one of the stolen credit cards to purchase a movie ticket.
In hours of the brutal murder of his math teacher, prosecutors say Philip Chisholm went to a movie, using his slain victim's credit card to buy the ticket.
Then, around midnight, police found Chisholm walking along Route 1, where he confessed to the murder.
I asked him if he knew where the girl was.
What did he tell you?
He stated that she was buried in the woods.
And what did you ask him next?
I asked him if we can get to him, can we help her?
And what did he tell you?
He said no.
Police also discovered the murder weapon in Chisholm's pocket, stained with Ritzer's blood. Her body was found in the woods near the school, just a few yards from where she had dreamed of working. Chisholm was charged with first-degree assault, armed robbery, and first-degree murder. During his trial, investigators testified about Chisholm's confession while in custody.
So he said he karate chopped her neck, which rendered her unconscious. He talked about putting his hand on her mouth, and then he talked about dragging that box cutter across her neck without it causing any injury.
Chisholm even directed police to the location of Ritzer's body.
We had asked him to kind of draw us a map of the area so that we could kind of pinpoint where she would be.
If that wasn't enough, even Chisholm's defense acknowledged that he was a murderer.
Philip Chisholm killed Colleen Ritzer. He had been suffering from a psychotic disorder since the age of 10.
However, the prosecution argued that Ritzer's murder was premeditated, as Chisholm arrived at school that day fully prepared.
A blue sweatshirt with a hood, gloves, a mask, a box cutter.
Unsurprisingly, the jury convicted Chisholm on all counts.
The defendant, Philip Chisholm, is guilty of deliberate premeditation and extreme atrocity cruelty on indictment number 2013-1446, charging him with murder in the first degree.
At his sentencing, Judge David Lowry detailed the violent nature of Chisholm's crime.
The defendant violently Colleen Ritzer. He viciously, brutally, and senselessly attacked Colleen. When the defendant was finished in the bathroom, he put Colleen Ritzer inside a recycle bin, wheeled her to the woods, and pulled up her shirt, exposing her breasts. Thereafter, he spread her legs and inserted a large tree branch inside.
Ultimately, Chisholm was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 40 years for the murder of Colleen Ritzer.
This court will impose the mandatory life sentence for the murder of Colleen Ritzer.
However, Chisholm will be back in court in 2024. Now 25, he pleaded guilty to charges of attempted murder and kidnapping.
25-year-old Philip Chisholm pleaded guilty today in Suffolk Juvenile Court to attempted murder and kidnapping charges. He was 15 when he was charged with attacking and seriously injuring a female DYS worker back in 2014.
Back in 2015, while awaiting trial for Colleen Ritzer's murder, Chisholm attacked and seriously injured a female juvenile detention worker.
At the beginning of June, Chisholm was being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Dorchester. The documents indicate Chisholm planned an attack on a female staff member.
This time, he was sentenced to 17 to 20 years in state prison for the attack on the juvenile detention worker.
A judge sentenced Chisholm to 17 to 20 years in state prison for the attack on the youth worker.
What happens when shots are fired at a high school football game? This was the case with Devin Thompson, who was apprehended and arrested after an incident in Jacksonville, Florida. According to police, on August 18, 2023, 15-year-old Thompson opened fire into a crowd leaving a football game at First Coast High School.
We're learning the identity of the teenager who was shot by police. All of this after police say he shot into a crowd leaving a football game at First Coast High School.
Earlier that day, authorities received intelligence about potential violence between rival groups at the football game, resulting in a significant police presence at the scene. When Thompson fired his weapon, officers rushed toward the crowd and observed him fleeing.
Hey, white shirt, white shirt! What a gun!
A pursuit ensued as officers fired multiple shots while Thompson fled through a wooded area and jumped over a fence.
Hey, shoot, shot fire, shot fire! Hey, hey, hey! Holy Still up! Hey, he's running to the dailies, running to the dailies!
The suspect successfully crossed a nearby street, but was ultimately apprehended.
Get on the ground now, I'll kill you! Don't you move! You got him? Grab him. You got him? Yeah. Somebody handcuff him, handcuff him. I ain't got handcuffs. Neither do I, mine's on the other guy. Put him on.
A bullet fired by one of the officers grazed Thompson's head, while another struck his lower extremities.
You're hit? Who's hit? Me. Where are you hit? My head. Your head? Yes. Hold on. Let me my head. And right here. Where? On your hip? Yeah. Where? Hey, is that the gun? Yes. His gun's on him. Did you shoot yourself? No, you shot me.
The officers provided first aid to the teenager and rushed him to a hospital.
Hey, give me your shears.
Here's my tourniquet, Phil.
Here. Hey, I'm sorry, I gotta pull your pants down.
Where's the firearm?
Right
It's
here.
on him.
Grab it.
Watch out, watch out, watch out.
The gun found on Thompson was reportedly stolen 5 days earlier. He was later charged with discharging a firearm on school property and carrying a concealed weapon. He is currently awaiting trial, while Devin Thompson faces serious consequences for his actions.